The final episode of Dexter Resurrection is sadly upon us, and all I can say is what a season it's been. From the show feeling like it's returned to its true form, a star-studded cast that have dominated the screen with stellar performances every week, a story that's had me on the edge of my seat, and most recently, a death that's one for the ages. This show has been peak television, but sadly, it's almost time to bid farewell for a while. However, before we do that, we've got to see how it ends. Paramount Plus recently released a trailer for the final episode, and it's safe to say that I think this has the potential to be the best of the season due to the situation that Dexter's now got himself into. So with that, I thought I'd break down the trailer and also give my theories and predictions on the finale. Here is Dexter Resurrection Episode 10 Trailer Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Before I get into the video, I know that there are a ton of people sharing information on what happens during the finale due to it leaking online, but I've not watched it, nor do I plan on watching it before it actually airs. So please don't spoil it in the comments if you've seen it. The anticipation of theorizing and waiting to see what happens is a strong reason as to why this show is so good, because of the tension that it builds and the thoughts that we collectively get. So none of my predictions are based off of that because I've not seen it, nor have I read any details. I just wanted to be upfront and clear about it. Right, let's get into the trailer. So the trailer for the finale opened up with the event that we've all been waiting for, the annual gala that Leon Prater was going to be hosting for the New York Police Department charity. What's even more perfect about this event now is that not only was he living a double life in having this obsession with serial killers and watching them kill their victims, but then on the flip side presenting himself as this philanthropist to the public. But now he's actually crossed the line and become a stone-cold killer. His face said it all in the finale when he had the look of shock. He'd crossed over into territory that he didn't think that he ever would, and I think that could ultimately change the character slightly moving forward, and maybe give him a newfound confidence. The first line of dialogue was by Prater, as he said, "Welcome everyone to my favorite night of the year." From the off, it doesn't seem like Prater has been that impacted by the kill, but who knows, when he's not on stage we could see him acting differently, and he might just be putting on a front. As Prater said that line, we saw a shot of Detective Wallace and Detective Melvin Oliva being at the event, so it showed that Wallace had changed her mind. But alongside that as well, we also saw a shot of Harrison accepting the gig of working there as a waiter after previously declining it. Something which I think is connected to Dexter's call. So Harrison and Detective Wallace being in touching distance of Dexter and a dead Batista is something that's going to inject the both of them right into the center of the story as Dexter will look to be rescued, and also try to get Prater's true identity revealed and the fact that he's now a killer. The next part of the trailer showed that Dexter was on the phone to Harrison because there was a phone that was left in the vault with him, and he said, "Prater killed Batista and I'm next." This is probably why Harrison ends up working at the gala. He'll take up his friend's offer and use it as a way of him to be able to get inside of the mansion and look to prevent his dad from being killed. Following this, there was a shot of Dexter on the floor in the vault, and it looked as though there were files of all of the killers that Charley and Prater had been watching, and within that file, there was one for Dexter. I'm presuming Dexter might look to destroy his file or keep it to himself, because if the police do come storming in, then there'd be a file that links him to everybody else that was there. Killers. So he'll want to get rid of that immediately to ensure that he's safe from questioning. Dexter said to Harrison, "That thing for justice, maybe it runs in the family." Throughout this season, there's been a heavy focus on father and son relationships. At the start of the season, Dexter saved his son and prevented him from turning himself into the police over the murder of Ryan, and it now seems like Harrison is going to return the favor to his father and look to break him out of Prater's by sneaking around under the cover of a waiter. When Prater was on stage and giving a speech, most likely revealing the money that had been raised for the New York City Police Foundation at the gala, he said, "What a turnout." As this happened, Harrison was sneaking out of the crowd, most likely thinking that it would be the optimum time to go and rescue his father because everybody will be in the room for the announcement. However, Charley noticed him, and it also seemed like Prater did as well, as he had a shocked look on his face. Harrison was also standing behind the plant at one point watching on, so his presence there is something that's definitely unknown. The next shot that we had was of a white shirt having a gun pointed towards it. Who have we seen in a white jacket or shirt throughout that trailer? Harrison. So I'm guessing it's definitely going to be him that gets found whilst sneaking around, and I'm predicting that it's going to be Prater that's pointing it towards him. It seemed like Prater was wearing a glove whilst holding the microphone, and that exact glove was pointing the weapon. Dexter's voice was what was narrating over this scene, but I think that's just a misdirection. I think Dexter saying, "You're not going anywhere," is just going to be him having tried his best to find a way out, but then realizing that he's not going to get out of there unless he actually gets saved. Hence the pessimism. As well as this, there was a line of dialogue that said, "It's time for the world to see the real Leon Prater." So this could be centered around if Dexter gets out, he could be looking to reveal everything about Prater rather than killing him. There's a vault there after all with a dead body in it, so that's something that's going to be difficult to hide from a room full of law enforcement, so that could be revealed to them. Under this piece of dialogue, there was a quick succession of shots. One was of Detective Wallace, Melvin Oliva, and other officers running up the stairs towards something. The shot that followed was of Charley pointing the weapon towards somebody, so I wonder if they're going to be running towards Charley's potential gunshot that goes off. Could she end up turning on Prater? Look at the way the gun is angled and the direction in which her eyes were looking. It looks like it's pointing downwards, and with Prater being smaller than what she is, she could be pointing it at him. I also thought the fact that Prater was the shot that followed Charley, it's making me think that something could happen between the both of them and she could end up killing him to feel free. We know that she has moral values and despises his behavior and the serial killers that he shares the company with. Honestly, I keep thinking back to the scene a couple of episodes back where she clenched her fist when speaking with him. It has to mean something, right? She was reaching breaking point with him and there was division forming, so I think she could end up going against him for sure. Maybe her mother ends up dying or he threatens her mother, so that could drive her to that point in the trailer. It's just one theory for now. Alongside this, there was also a shot of Harrison just outside of the vault banging on the door of it and screaming, "Dad." However, with him turning around, it looked like he was going to be spotted by somebody. I think this could potentially be Charley, and this is where we might get the scene of Prater with the gun as well. Charley might have changed sides by then and could be looking to help Harrison, and that way she could open the door, but by then, Prater might have cottoned onto it. Could you imagine if Harrison ends up dying due to the actions of his father, roping him back into the dark side of his life to save him, and Prater ends up delivering the kill, or at least threatening his life? This could be why Dexter looked so stressed in that final scene of the trailer, because everything was just out of his control and his son was on the cusp of meeting a deadly end because of him. One moment in the trailer that stood out to me was when Charley was looking over. She was looking on as if she was shocked at the way that Prater was acting. Or maybe she could be looking over because she wants to get things done quickly and she's aware of the fact that Prater could be on the way. Charley was once a hero, and I think the hero that made up the character before she met Prater will rise to the surface again. I liked the idea of Prater ending up in jail, but with his money, his connections, and his fascination with killers, I think he'd just be in his element. So I reckon a fitting ending for him would be being killed at the hands of Charley or Dexter, and his reputation being ruined following his death. That would mark a good ending for him. However, with there being a room full of law enforcement there, I just can't see a world where he doesn't end up wearing the bracelets. When it comes to the New York Ripper, that feels like it's going to be a story that's going to be hanging over at least the next season. It's apparently been commissioned for Season 2 and Season 3, so I doubt the show will just shoehorn it in during the final episode. I'd rather them take their time with that story because there's been a lot of build-up for it, so I'd hate for it to fall flat. That's unless Leon Prater is actually revealed to be the Ripper. However, judging by that reaction on his face when he killed Batista, it seemed like he'd never really killed before. Then from there, the trailer came to a close. Honestly, the show has done a great job at keeping us hooked every week. We've just got to hope that it sticks that ending, which I don't doubt that it's going to do. So, there you have it, Dexter Resurrection Episode 10 Trailer Explained.